Good morning, Plot Twist.
What's up?
As viewers will notice, Voodoo's performance just was not good enough on the previous episode, so he has been booted.
We booted.
We tried to give him a chance, but just not up to par. So he's got the boot. Back to just me and Plot Twist.
Go.
Dude, how's things going?
Man, it's good. I'm excited. If you can see, I got my Mr. Minded pieces in. So I during the mint got one of the commissioned where like they special make a piece, and so I said I want a Creatures of the Cave. So he did,
dope.
yeah, like with the arbiters theme, Dracula, Creatures of the Cave. So pretty fired up about that. Mr. Minded is incredible. And then he sent me a bonus piece that is just like one of his other paintings that's like
That's awesome.
super awesome. So that was also a surprise. And then hold on, one more thing.
I wonder when we're getting a donkey series.
That
Those
would be
things are
good.
hilarious.
But I have to show this because I have to find a cassette player because I got a Menez cassette tape. So this is like a Menez special. Menez the Pharaoh and Golden Mask Party in a Pyramid. So as soon as I find a cassette player, I'm going to pop in this Menez cassette and give it a listen. So was really fired up to getting that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I just got in my Uman sweater today, my second Uman sweater.
Yeah.
Super pumped about this one. Can't wait to wear this one out.
Yes.
Can imagine it's
you're
gonna
Uman
draw
out.
just as many conversations as the Uman hat. Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Full
You're
gear
Uman
now.
dat. The hat, the hoodie, or the sweater. You even got the Uman up directly behind you. I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, in terms of what's going on in markets today, I mean, the last couple of days haven't been the greatest.
No, we had that. It was weird because there was like that. I think people were just trying to get a good push because it was like I was reading some stuff. It was like 22,700 for Bitcoin was like the moving average or whatever. And it would have been the first time in like 10 weeks that we finished above it. And I think we did. And then immediately after that, it just went like plummeted back down. So, yeah, the market's not behaving well.
Yeah, no, it's pretty crazy. I know a lot of this stuff, I guess, is around earnings calls, and there's a bunch of stuff going on this week.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of the big influencers kind of saying, yeah, this week's gonna be pretty volatile. Looking at a tweet here from our friend Miles Dusher, he does put out good content here and there. It's interesting to see the amount of like corporate support in Matic, and like this is where like personally I'm not really worried about what the price of the markets is doing, because it's just like, let's just build in this space because the adoption's clearly happening. I'm looking at a tweet here. The corporate sponsors or people building in on Polygon. So DraftKings is looking at an NFT marketplace, and they've also got their own validator node. Ticketmaster for the NFL. They're looking at virtual commemorative ticket stubs. You got Adobe doing NFT integration for the Behance social platform.
Yep.
Stripe doing USDC payments. Meta, which is Facebook, Zuckerberg doing their thing. I think Instagram's looking at doing a bunch of NFT support now as well.
Yes. Yeah.
There's Nothing, which is the company I haven't heard of, but they're looking at doing NFT crowdfunding, access passes, building a blockchain-enabled smartphone. Reddit's looking at doing a marketplace, and now Disney has chosen to participate in Disney's 2022 accelerator program aimed at developing AR, NFT, and AI experiences.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy with everything that's happening right now. I mean, because we see that, because I just actually read that Instagram is about to integrate where your profile picture, so similar to what you can do with Twitter Blue, where you'll be able to connect your wallet and choose one of your NFTs as your profile picture on Instagram. So, it's one of those things where it's like, once again, the more you zoom in, the scarier it gets. The more you zoom out, the more you can kind of see and go, there's a lot of stuff happening. And once again, it's obviously we would love to see crypto fly through the roof and everything. It's like, but we have to give it time. And I think that's people, I guess this is something I've always said in a lot of other things, even my, like outside real world business, all of that is there's not necessarily unrealistic expectations. There's just typically unrealistic time frames.
Right.
So,
That's great.
the thing is becoming a millionaire in crypto. That's not an unrealistic expectation because lots of people can do it. There's lots of opportunities to it, lots of opportunities with NFTs. But if you're expecting it to happen in the next, 3 months, that's an unrealistic time frame, not an unrealistic expectation. And so I think that's the biggest thing is like when we see all this stuff, because it was like something like I read an article. I wish I remembered it and looked it up. You just saying this stuff triggered it for me. But there was like 5 or 6 massive like traditional wealth management firms that had their like CFOs or basically high level people leave and go to crypto Web3 companies.
Right.
So the thing is, these are guys who are making buku bucks in TradFi, who are now exiting and going to Web3 crypto NFT based companies. So to me, I see that as a lot of movement in the right direction.
Well, you're even seeing, along with the TradFi, you're seeing developers. Developers are leaving the top software companies and moving into the crypto space. I'm absolutely, you look, no matter what, even if you bought the top of this, whether it was 6 months ago, I think you flash forward 3 years from now and you're going to be pretty happy. It's just, it's holding through this stuff because it is going to get turbulent. I have been watching some kind of macroeconomic stuff that from some pretty intelligent people that are kind of diving into things, and they talk about how Russia's got a lot of control right now, and there's potential that the world does go through, or Russia puts the world through an energy crisis, and by doing that, dollars become very interesting because if all of a sudden your US dollar can't get you oil, well, that becomes an issue. So now apparently Europe is having a really hard time with inflation. Every country, Canada's experiencing it big time. The next couple of years might be interesting, but the idea of if people can continue to build through this, on the other side of this, it's going to be huge.
Yeah, I think there is just a lot of opportunity out there. I think there's a lot of big things that if you can be smart during this time, then you're going to set yourself up for massive, massive success. And, it is one of those things where if there's a lot of, especially with NFTs and stuff, I love it because I was listening to a book on Bitcoin, but and basically what they just talk about is obviously, a lot of people equate Bitcoin to digital gold, but, the 3 historic stores of value that have always no matter what time era you've been in, nothing has always been, gold, real estate, and art. Right. I mean, those have always been the 3 stores of value. So if we can look at Bitcoin, crypto kind of in that, gold, but just taking a look at the NFT world, like NFT scene, I mean, there was just a thing, Christie's, like we've always talked about this. Christie's, the infamous auction house, is setting up NFT stuff right now. There was like a whole big announcement that they made that they're going to be putting out a digital series, and I don't know what I didn't dive too deep into all of the details of it, but that just goes to show that the traditional art world is starting to recognize NFTs as art, not just, well, it's just something I can right click and save. And, once again, it's something that we've been screaming for a long time. Like, this is where it's headed. It is just, you just got to give it time to get there. And so I think, people can set themselves up NFT wise incredibly right now during this time because, with the prices of crypto being lower, if you have outside dollars that you can put in, I have a friend, and she's a big Potluck supporter, and she's like, man, I get paid weekly, and I take a little bit every week basically and put it in, and I buy Fantom, I buy AVAX, I go on and scoop up some NFTs because I know that right now it doesn't cost me that much when I'm putting new dollars in, and I can scoop all this stuff up,
Yeah.
knowing that when the bull market returns, how much all of that's going to ultimately, end up being worth. And so I just think that there's people who can set themselves up tremendously right now.
Well, the adoption's happening. Like Sarge is in the room here, and I seen he's working with some new film company, non-fungible films or something like that. They just released a crazy video that's getting huge traction, and you start to kind of realize, like, oh yeah, NFTs are going to hit the big screen soon enough. Then you have just the amount of companies that are getting into the space, the Shopify stuff that we have going on, and like we'll get into all this stuff because we're going to be talking about labs in a minute here.
Yeah,
but the whole Shopify token gating aspect, like you're seeing every person's merch store is about to change, and it opens their ideas to up to NFTs. You're seeing just a whole shift in any kind of content producer. Like one of the biggest comedians in the world right now, Andrew Schultz, just bought his special back from Netflix, released it on YouTube on his own, or on his own website, and did 3 times the numbers. So you're seeing this huge shift, and they'll eventually shift into, we're having these conversations already where they're going to shift into NFTs because giving access to, like, they're on Patreon and doing all this stuff already where they get the idea of what their fans want access to. So now you can put it behind NFTs and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, and that was one of the things I was watching Gary V the other day, and one of the things he said was so good was he, basically was saying at the end of the day, you don't have to like or want to invest in quote unquote digital art, but you can't deny the underlying technology of how the blockchain can change everything. And so he was like, every day we're learning new ways to use it. We're learning new ways to implement things. And that's only going to continue to grow. And how much bigger all of this technology ultimately, potentially could end up being. Because I even saw something, like somebody posted and it was crazy, but it was like here in the US, they like gave the numbers of like how much money it costs to like print driver's licenses or personal IDs, right, and all this stuff. Yeah. And they were like, what if all of that was just, information stored in the blockchain that, could be accessed in some way instead of having to print physical driver's licenses, ID, whatever. And it's like, well, that's immutable information that can be stored in the blockchain that, like only, you could update and whatever it is. But it's like, there's this level of thinking of how the blockchain could change things moving forward and having those as, because if it's just an image on your phone, well, anybody could alter that. But if it's like literally you pull up the NFT on your phone and it's your driver's license or your ID and it can't be changed, like that.
Well, look, we're using QR codes to get into restaurants already.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
that
we're
changes,
already at this point.
That changes everything. So, it just gets like every time we get on here and talk, every time I like read stuff like that, it just gets me more and more excited. And it's like, the whole reason that made me want to join in with Voodoo and all of this stuff and with you guys of like, building, obviously before Potluck Labs was Potluck Labs, but like having these conversations of like, man, I totally 100% believe this is where the world is headed. Yeah. So why would I not like be a part of, building something special in this space that I really believe is going to kind of take over everything?
Well, speaking of this, I mean, I do think like, when you think about NFTs and stuff and companies getting in, like it's going to be rewards tokens. We collect air miles and all these different point systems on these cards. Well, that's going to end up being through NFTs or tokens on the blockchain. And speaking of ecosystem tokens, I had to segue this somehow. Yeah, we got some cool news for labs.
Yes, I'm excited for this.
Yeah, man, you and I had an awesome, probably a couple hour conversation yesterday. Yeah. But like, what can we really bring to labs? And how can we start implementing some real utilities? So we came up with the first idea, Well, there's a few ideas here. I got a little notepad.
Yes.
So there's a few things we're looking at doing. I'll start with we've already done a mint. We had that interactive game mint,
Yep.
and the plan is to have future mints using labs only.
Yep.
We're looking at doing some prize raffles where it's like kind of like almost more so like in real life goods and like a ledger, some prizes like this,
Yeah.
and that will be kind of raffled off via buying like tickets through labs, basically. We're looking at doing some special edition like auctions where we have some of the artists within the Potluck ecosystem put together NFTs that are going to be auctioned off in our Discord that you can only get with labs. I think that's a super exciting one on my end.
Yeah.
Because like thinking about that the exclusivity of some of our favorite artists dropping like one of ones or editions of 5,
Yeah.
through these labs auctions is kind of crazy. We're also looking at doing some merch coupon codes.
Yep.
And this is the big one. Just to be able to hold your Potluck NFTs and then, by basically stacking your labs, now you'll be able to get a discount, whether it's 25% off, 50% off, potentially free merch. And the idea that we have our artists kind of doing merch designs for us that will be exclusive through the Potluck Labs store.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be able to get discounts through that through labs. Really starting to kind of tie some things together. But the idea is that at some point today, we're going to be doing a labs auction
Yes.
where
This is happening today. We're doing this.
yeah. So I got a bunch of like half decent NFTs here, folks. So I'll go through a little bit of a list of what I'll be auctioning off. It's just going to be a labs auction. So anybody that's in the Discord, I'm going to quickly auction off these pieces. We're going to bid in labs. The labs will be sent to a like the burn address. And here's some of the NFTs. So I'm giving auctioning off via labs a legendary Fantom trainer card, a legendary weaponized country card, I believe it's a number 10 Zombie Society NFT.
Yes.
Then we have what else we got here? We've got an Auto Color Technica piece, and I think that collection's super slept on. An Astro Kid.
Yeah.
You're gonna have an opportunity to get an Astro Kid,
which is vitally
labs.
important because there's the Cosmic Friends mint coming up. We'll talk about that later. But if you win the Astro Kid, not only are you getting an iconic piece, but then you're also essentially securing a whitelist spot for the Cosmic Friends mint on Friday.
Yeah, huge. We got a Necro Demons. I got a Hunters of Evil. And I know there was this is actually a rarity rank 52. I know there's a bunch of alpha dropped for the Hunters of Evil in wanting to have a male and a female, right?
Yep.
We got this is the number 14 Pink Flamingo on Avalanche. What else we got here? Oh, I'm going to do a Cloudheads.
Oh my gosh.
The Cloudheads ecosystem is awesome. So you have an opportunity to get a Cloudheads, and then the last NFT that I've got in it is going to be a Monkeys on AVAX.
How many
Another
that?
Awesome community. That is 10.
10 pieces. Okay. Well, I'm for sure throwing in a doodle lantern that is going to allow people to be able to get in the staking pool, right, for the rewards, all of that. So I definitely wanted to do one of those. So we'll at least have 11 NFTs, depending on how long that goes. I may grab some more to throw in, but yeah, I think this is exciting. And to kind of address something that I think will probably come up is that people are going to say, well, this isn't really fair. Why should I even do that if there's someone that has a massive bag of labs and I don't have any labs or whatever it is? and I want to address kind of two things. Number one, obviously, we want the people who are big time supporters of Potluck that are holding lots of art. We want them to be rewarded, right? Like that's the whole point of doing the labs based off of the amount that you get is based off of the amount of Potluck NFTs you hold to reward them for being a big supporter. But it's like what you and I were talking about yesterday is it's only going to take a couple of these pieces, right? If some people get into a bidding war and it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,000 labs, 7,000 labs, well, I've gone into the labs contract, like it's only going to take 1 or 2 times of that, and these labs whales are getting wiped out, and now it does become quote unquote more of a level playing field, right? As far as the labs go, and that's kind of our idea is we want people to be able to reap real benefits, right, for holding labs, obviously holding our NFTs and holding labs. And I think this is a great way that we're going to be giving away lots of different, or not giving away, but, auctioning off lots of different NFTs, not just Potluck NFTs, but, some of them obviously are Potluck NFTs, but then even outside ones and things that would be desirable to people, but they're not having to spend any Fantom or AVAX. They're spending their labs, as a way to, reward the holders and bring some real world value to more real world value to labs. So I'm just excited about this to see as this continues to grow and as we continue to build out more use cases for labs. But I think this is like as soon as you brought it up, I was like, done, I'm in, let's do it. I'll give, if I need to, I'll give away, or I'll put up some NFTs for auctions. And, I don't know how often we're planning on doing this, but I know we're going to do it regularly. That's at least regularly. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking if we start doing like this the little collector's auction, basically, maybe once a month. Maybe we do like the special edition NFT auction like once a month.
Yeah.
To run through just some of our GameFi partners. Like we got Weaponized Countries. So that's one of the cards you can win today. You'll be able to play in Weaponized Countries, and you can play with labs in that, so you don't need to gamble your FTM. You can play labs. Bobbleheads will have the same thing. You'll be able to play with labs. Phantom Survivor is going to have a whole bunch of stuff involved with labs. They're looking at even building a kind of an in-game dex that you'll be able to transfer our labs into their ecosystem token to then level up your avatar and stuff. So that's a really exciting one. Slothtopia, we plan on doing some shit in Slothtopia. Whether it's, I've been looking at doing gated events where you have to spend labs to get into this event in Slothtopia. Like there's all kinds of stuff we can do with that.
Yeah.
We got the Cyber Friends now. Like the idea that we're going on into Sandbox.
Yes.
We've got a new labs token contract coming, and it'll open up the doors big time for what we can kind of do with labs and where we can take labs, across chains and stuff. So that's really exciting. Feeple, again, part of the kind of Phantom Survivor developer verse. The idea is to implement labs into Feeple.
Yeah.
And then Bomber Punks. We don't have a labs implementation yet, but Bomber Punks is one of our gaming partners that they have an awesome new map for us. They're one of our currently minting projects. And for us, like we were having this conversation yesterday, it's like the idea is like I want to try to bring as much value to labs as possible, because then there's labs is it's a super easy way to get people involved in our ecosystem and our community.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because think about it. It's like, let's say we go meet some people, whether, no matter where they are, and we can say, hey, let me give you, 1,000 labs or 2,000 labs, come on over. And, as we continue to build this out, they come over, man, this looks like an exciting mint. Maybe I drop 500 on picking up a whitelist so I can, be in the pre-sale of a desirable mint. Maybe it's man, I just love, because we have like, obviously just like Fang hats, the Fang hats, the Fang shirts, all of that. And then also the project specific stuff that's obviously token gated, but shamanic roots. There's a Fang hoodie from the Doodle Lanterns, the white Fang hoodie that's in the lab store now, token gated. You got to hold a AVAX Doodle Lantern to be able to get that, but maybe they want to do that. We also have like just fun shirts, like the NFT and chill shirt. We just have fun stuff like that in there. That maybe they have labs to get a discount on that, or like you said, a free item. So or they just want to jump in and say, man, I don't know anything about Fantom. I don't know anything about AVAX. I'm going to jump in, use my labs, and I'm going to participate in the auction and win a piece, right? Like, and that now they're getting an NFT. So, and I think this is also an easy way for people, let's say, other community members who are wanting to involve their friends into the community. Like I know there's a lot of these where we say, hey, like when there's free mints, things like that, you can utilize that, give some of those away to people to bring them in. But also, community members can use their labs. Hey, we're having an auction. There's going to be an auction here. I'm going to give you 2,000 labs. Why don't you jump in and you can bid on some pieces? And now we're introducing them to the culture, of the auction houses and things like that of Fantom, that people don't have to give away their NFTs. They just give away the labs that they're accumulating for holding NFTs, right? So I just think it's a huge thing to really continue to build the ecosystem, build the Potluck community, but also build the cross-chain Fantom AVAX community that we're really focusing on building.
Well, and one of the things we got to mention that I know there's an announcement in the Discord somewhere, but the idea that you was every couple weeks we're choosing a project. The idea is potentially to kind of open it up to the user can choose whatever, but you'll be able to burn a Potluck NFT for kind of a stack of labs.
Yeah.
So this kind of gives our whole community the ability to kind of go, all right, well, if I want a stack of labs for the next project, or for one of these other utilities, like, all right, let's go find what's the cheapest Potluck floor, and let's burn up those NFTs. I can go sweep a floor for potentially 12 FTM or 17 FTM and burn those NFTs and get a stack of labs.
Yeah. And that's an interesting conversation, right? Because there are some people who are not fans of the idea of burning NFTs, right? But then there's other stuff of, obviously we know burning collections, right, makes smaller supplies, makes the rest of the collection far more valuable, raises floors, which I think is good kind of across the board. But it's also, we're leaving it up, the goal would be to leave it up to the end, consumer user to say like, man, this is something that I like the idea of, I could burn these and get that. Or like Poison Elf just wrote in the chat, burning is a great idea, but I'd rather keep holding and earning over time. And that's the best part about it is, if you don't want to burn, you don't burn. You hold and accumulate over time, and you can do great stuff with that. Or someone who says, man, I really, want this. And, maybe they feel like, man, I want to burn this and get a stack of labs to do whatever. The beauty of it is that as a community member, you can kind of choose what you want to do, your style.
Well, I think that's the fun part about all of this is that, like, as collections get burned up and we're doing these auctions and we have ways that you can spend labs, like, you're going to see all the wallets kind of start to even themselves out in terms of labs. And then it comes down to this interesting like game of, all right, well, is it better for me to earn 500 labs a day by holding 500 different Potluck NFTs? Or do I want to, burn a bunch for like a stack, like a big stack off the get-go? But then, the whole burning mechanism, the idea is like, all right, well, it benefits the people that are just holding, because now your NFTs are going up in value too, because they're becoming more scarce.
Right. And the thing is, we know, obviously, we support, our role in what we do, right, is a support for artists, right? So the big thing we were talking about this too is like with Danetron, with Teens, with, it's like, really these are their projects, right? They're coming up with them. We're just helping them bring it to life, right? Doing the coding, doing some of the marketing, all of those things, and we're bringing it to life. But we also know that every single Potluck community member isn't involved in every single project that we have, right? So the thing is, I know there's people who are like, man, I love, my potluck pig. Well, we would never expect you to burn your potluck pig if you love your potluck pig, but maybe there's a collection that it says like, man, like, it's great. I don't really connect with the art, but I whatever, but the floors are really low. Well, technically, by you buying a project, if the floors were low on that one, and burning it, so you're not burning the project that you love, but you're burning it, you're bringing value to the other community members who do love that collection, because now the floor is being raised for the ones that they're holding. So what's crazy is it's this weird dynamic that it's like everyone's really supporting and helping everyone because of what happens with the collections over time. And it gives people the ability to kind of pick and choose and know what they're doing. So I love the whole idea of the ecosystem as a whole, and that it really is just, it all works together.
Well, to get even further into it, like now you get into the idea that our projects, like we're going to have staking mechanisms to earn NFTs and like level up your NFTs
Yes.
to potentially earn NFTs. So now, and like the funds from those mints are going to sweeping floors. So now as pieces are getting burned, they're becoming more scarce. The floor is kind of going up. They're becoming more valuable NFTs that like we're sweeping and then giving back to the community.
Yeah.
Like it really is an entire ecosystem. And I like, one of the big things for me is like the labs usage with the gaming partners,
Mm-hmm.
because if any of them see success, like then that is super bullish for labs, because now like, they can be all of a sudden the gaming community that had nothing to do with collecting our NFTs really, or our art NFTs,
Right.
are now sweeping floors, burning to get this labs token to be able to do stuff in their game.
Yeah.
And to give them benefits in their game. So now you got multiple ecosystems kind of working together and bringing value to each other. It is super exciting stuff.
Yeah, it just makes me more excited about what we're doing, to me, this is the type of stuff that gets me excited, right? Obviously I love launching new collections, but it's also like, it's one of those things like you and I literally talked for 2, maybe 3 hours after our like 1 hour or whatever team call on simply just how can we bring value back to the holders? What can we do to reward them? What can we do in all these areas? And so it is one of those things where it's like that's our focus so often. And I know that there are certain community members that wish certain things would happen faster than what they maybe sometimes do. But it doesn't mean that we're not constantly having these conversations going, hey, what way can we do this? How can we reward holders? How can we build the ecosystem? How can we build the community? Because I really do see this as being something that in the future, whether that's a year from now, 6 months from now, 2 years from now, 3 years, that at some point, the conversation isn't going to be, man, big corporations are looking to pump money into Matic. It's big corporations are looking at Fantom. That the OpenSea, right, is listing. You can do a drop down menu and choose Fantom, AVAX, all of those things. Like I really believe that I believe that that's where that's happening. I believe that that's where that's going. And so I truly believe that it's like we're building, in my opinion, a community that is going to be bigger than even just Fantom and AVAX. It is going to be NFT wise, and maybe I'm thinking too big, but that's really what we talk about. That's really what we think of what we're building. And, I believe that we're delivering on that, and we're going to continue to.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely the case. I mean, I think look at some of the biggest projects on Ethereum, whether it's a Bored Apes or like you name it. They're realizing that they can't do all of their building on Ethereum, so they're branching to different chains to do their metaverses and different stuff. and then a lot of those community members are starting to kind of branch out to different chains, because you just got to get your eyes open. Like, you have to have your eyes open to this kind of stuff,
Right.
and it just takes education and time, and that's essentially what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super exciting stuff. I can't wait. But I think one of the biggest stresses of this is like, if we can really bring value to the labs and the whole ecosystem, and like the community can kind of grasp how all these pieces are clicking together,
Mm-hmm.
then like, that's kind of our help for marketing. Like we need help with our community kind of explaining what is going on in the Potluck ecosystem, and how I haven't found anything like this, to be honest. I've
Right.
looked around other chains. I haven't found anything like this.
And it's to me, it's this whole idea. Like, I love what the like TOA communities doing the moon with the Moon Masters and all of them. We were talking about this of where there's points that they can get inside their Discord, and and it's all these different things, right? Make your PFP a certain picture. If you run a giveaway to give something away to the community, bringing attention to it, you get this. I was talking with Cosmic yesterday. We were kind of getting some stuff finalized for the Cosmic Friends mint. And then she was like, yeah, there's been a couple community members that have asked, like, because I sent her a few test images, like, hey, make sure these look good before I do the final run, and so I can know if I need to tweak anything. And she was like, and so I sent her those, and there was like several community members from in that were like, hey, can we use some of these to put as our profile picture and like do all these things? And the thing about it was that was not Potluck driven.
Yeah,
that was community driven. And I'll say this, I feel like there's more community conversations about the Cosmic Friends mint than almost any mint that we've had, that we've done. Why? It has nothing to do with Potluck taking the forefront. It's the community rallied behind and pushed it. The community's talking about it. They're tweeting about it. They're doing giveaways to, do all of these things. And I think at the end of the day, that's what makes anything successful, succeed and special, is like the more that, and I'm not saying that people need to be quote unquote promoting Potluck, but the collections that you're involved in, that you love, that you support, that you're holding, if you're at the forefront of talking about it, tweeting about it, bringing attention to it, that's what's going to help it continue to grow. I mean, obviously we're going to continue to do what we can do. But at the end of the day, 2,000, 3,000 people on Twitter are going to be able to do far more and get a far bigger reach than what, you, me, Voodoo, Dracula, or the Potluck team can do. I mean, it just is what
especially
it is.
On my 5th fucking Twitter
account.
account.
If you could just stop getting Twitter banned, that would be awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, the whole labs thing gets me really excited, because it to me, it's like going to be the easiest onboarding method into our community. And then when people kind of grasp, like, oh shit, there's a lot going on here, like, my gosh, that gets me really excited, because I was just on a space this weekend with the ETH community, and there was maybe 5-6 of us projects that were all talking, and I've had them all in my DMs afterwards, because like, they've clued into like, oh, there's something going on. You guys got like a lot going on. I haven't really seen something like this. Yeah, I think that's going to be huge for us going forward. But it does, I think, require some help, because the ETH world is very dog eat dog.
It's cutthroat. It
ain't even easy to get DM responses. Like,
and I think it is, because it's just a tough world, right? And it's a lot of people. Once again, it's a lot of people with a zero-sum game poverty mentality. Is if I talk about your project and someone goes over there and buys your piece, then they're not buying my piece. And I've had people, I mean, you get them all the time. I get DMs all the time. Hey, check out my project, yada yada yada. And I'll message them back sometimes, and I'm like, hey, I have no problem checking out your collection. Why don't you check out mine? And total radio silence. They don't message back again. And it's very interesting, because it's like, we didn't, that's not us, right? That's not where we came from. It's not how we are. Like I think Fantom and the AVAX community now, that especially the ones that we've been building with, don't have that mentality. It's if I win, you win. It's not dog eat dog. It's two, iron sharpens iron. It's how can I get better? How can you get better? How can we grow together? But knowing that, right, moving into that side of things, it's like we have to support that. We have to talk about it, right? That's why I'm super excited about, I've said it before, but the Southern Empire with their Bit Shadows mint on ETH.
That's on the 3rd.
Yeah, it's like we have to, in my mind, right? That has nothing to do with Potluck other than it's another Fantom project. And it's like, why would I not support that? Why would I not do that? Because I don't believe that someone supporting that project is going to take away from our project. What I believe is, man, let's be the biggest supporters of that. Let's be outspoken talking about it, because I know that if they grow and build on ETH, well, now what happens? There's trickle down, right? Because now if they're going to capture maybe a different group of people than maybe what we've captured. Well, now what does that do? Well, now there's more ETH people checking out Fantom. Well, not only that, but now they see our Fantom stuff now, which I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit later, but now we can help, they're probably going to check out our Swole Starlas, right? Which are still minting on ETH, the Swole Starla mint, the Creamow mint. There's just so many of those things that we can do. And I'm not saying I'm supporting them only because I believe that they're going to, that could drive people over to some of our projects. I'm doing that because I believe, number one, I believe that the rising tide raises all ships, that we need to support them just as a Fantom community. And then
I just think the hell of a good project.
It's an unbelievable project.
We have some of the best creators in the space, and now they're trying to reach market on ETH.
Limit Break, Septa. I mean, it's like that's some of the best art I've ever seen in my entire life. Not on Fantom, ever in my entire life. So to me, I just think that that's what we have to do. We have to support each other, and I think this is, there's so many great ways of doing it.
Well, we should get into topics.
Yeah, we're gonna have to fly through them, but let's see here. So we got what's minting, right? Obviously, I hit. A couple of them for us. We can, circle back. But obviously the Swole Starlas on ETH, sandbox build out, getting an actual playable avatar to be able to have access to Swole Beach, which anything Sarge is a part of, I'm a fan of. And then also the Creamow, right? Those cats, I love them. Unbelievable. Hayan Lee is a world-class artist. Once again, not just for Fantom, but in general. So I know I was just going to hit those since I already kind of brought those up. But yeah, those I think are two great projects they're currently minting. Obviously, ours.
Yeah, we'll go back because there's some details for the Creamow mint. But Big Cat Club is still minting on Fantom. Yep. I think it's an awesome project. They're building a really cool ecosystem, and it's this cool, tight club. Everybody's just holding their big cats, loving it. Got them staked, earning the BCK token. They got some cool stuff coming. I really like the Visionarium. They're building out a whole platform. I've got a few of the premier passes. I think actually at some point I'm going to be auctioning one of them for labs.
Yeah.
Egg Emporium. I'm the biggest fan of Egg Emporium. Their new Potluck piece is so crazy. Have you seen the new Egg Emporium Potluck piece?
Yes, where it goes through animation into the tunnel and all of it. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
So crazy. I cannot wait. But they're just got killer shit going on. I really like Fantom jerseys, and this is what Fantom jerseys is doing. The idea of minting one of the jerseys, and everybody, you can just buy them. But then, the minter of the jersey gets the royalties off of whoever buys the jersey. And I think, that's going to continue to grow, and I'm bullish on it. Jim's Burgers. I absolutely love Hashy Jim.
Yep.
Jim's Burgers. There's got to be less than 100, maybe less than 75 left. And then I got to mention Fantom Survivor.
Still minting
both on Fantom and AVAX. There's avatars on both sides, but we're going to have so much going on in there. You're going to need an avatar. So go get yourself one. And again, this is what helps fund teams actually building stuff.
Yeah, and then for me, it's not currently minting, but it will be minting at some point this month. But I'm super excited for the Cool Kid Selic and the
Yes.
Sewer Rat Crew by Cool Kid Selic mint. That one, those two projects, I know they're like two separate ones. The Sewer Rat Crew by Cool Kid Selic, that's going to be a free mint on Fantom and AVAX, and then I believe the Cool Kid Selic is going to be a paid mint. But man, that one's I love Selic. I've always loved
Yeah.
Selic from the get go. He's an unbelievable artist, and so that one I think is something to keep an eye out for. I know you can go on to Phantom Watch and see that. Which FYI, I went on the Phantom Watch website yesterday, and they've done a lot of updates from the last time I was on there. It looks
It's
phenomenal.
awesome.
So they're just continuing to build.
I can't. Yeah, I can't shout out that team enough. Like
Yeah.
that is such a valuable
Yeah.
tool. Incredible. And again, like as we like as a community, I think we got to be promoting these tools more because that's an incredible tool for people to get involved in the ecosystem. Their whole artist spotlight page,
Yeah.
where they have little biographies on each artist. Like I've learned about artists through that. No, I can't say enough about them. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Let's get into the underrated projects because, as you said, the sewer rats, George and Cool Kids and their Cool Kids ecosystem. That's definitely one of my underrated projects.
Yeah.
I think they're super slept on. They got the whole style is just it's very unique. They've got a bunch of different collections, all different sizes that all kind of tie in together very well. I think this next collection with Selick is going to be killer. Selick, I know, I just love that guy, and he speaks super highly of George, the artist for Cool Kids.
Yeah.
So I can't say enough about that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
My other underrated, and I will be auctioning off one of the rarity number 10, but Zombie Society. Hex has got some cool stuff coming. Go check out Hexadexam. Oh, what's his Twitter? Hexadexamaximal.
Hexademaximal.
There we go. Yeah, he's released some cool videos lately, doing some physicals, but he's got another project coming. I know there's a big benefit to those that hold bit zombies and the zombie societies.
Yeah.
So that's super exciting. Yeah, killer. I got to go through our guys again. I mean, Felipe Ortega,
sick.
Incredible.
That last piece that he dropped at Tomb Heads was unreal too. Like it's always like it's one of those things where it's just he's just such a unbelievable artist. Like, and the stuff that he does is just it's amazing.
Yeah. Necrofucks, his collections as one of ones are just incredible. I know he's looking at doing a new one of one collection. Just insane. Who else do I got? I got Hunters of Evil, Danetron. I think the Bit Killers are super underrated. The Hunters of Evil
are some of the best. I'm like, those are ones I'm holding. I'm never selling. And this is weird because I feel weird because I'm not sure if he would fall under the classification of underrated projects or artists, but Black Cat Dead's Nuke Kids are unreal. And it's like he puts them up for auction and then they're gone immediately. Like there's not even a shot. I've never had a shot at even getting one. So yeah, like I freaking love love Black Cat Dad. I love his use of colors. His style is amazing. And I think these Nuke Kids, it's awesome. So I would definitely throw him in that category.
And then one of my other ones is the Baby Punks by Sarge.
Oh yeah.
He's making the move to ETH. Like,
yeah,
one of the I think he is like the biggest followed artist on Fantom.
Yeah,
it's just a guy that is only going to continue to grow. Like, I would bet everything on Sarge. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Baby Punks, I think, super underrated.
And then in the chat, we got Doe Bender. He was saying Pocket Pals, which I know you're a big Pocket Pals supporter. But he said Pocket Pals is underrated for him. Yeah, I mean, Pocket Pals is, that game is pretty. I love what they did with the skins and all of that stuff. Is just super awesome.
I'm still holding 20 of my Pocket Pals. I don't think I have any of them listed. I've been trying to collect all the different sprites. And then I've been slowly just kind of picking off skins as I see floors kind of drop here and there as paper hands.
Yeah.
I'm super bullish. I don't play it very often. I just don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I love the collection.
The last one that I was for me that I was gonna say for underrated projects is with Woven. Edge Technician, the Eldritch Sprites, I think I'm pronouncing that right. But he just dropped on the AVAX side where I guess he did a custom that went to a holder, and that custom was amazing. And so it minted out on Sunday. The Fantom side did. AVAX sold out like immediately. Fantom side minted out. But man, I love Edge Technician as a person. I love him as a builder, and I know Edge is he's gonna deliver. He's not, he's always gonna continue to innovate and deliver for his community. So I think that's a great project.
I want to go over to the other side of things on the AVAX side.
Yeah.
I've got the monkeys. I think
Yes.
that's one of this is gonna. The floor just continues to creep up. Unique wallets continues to grow. It's still not even at that point where I'm like, FOMO for them. But it's like that floor just keeps ticking up.
Yeah,
I'm
I keep
super
seeing
excited about
that with
them.
the monkeys, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Tap tap, anything tap tap. I wouldn't call him underrated, but
there's
the
yeah,
100 web characters, the fact that they're still available, I think is super underrated.
yeah,
I think there's only about 20 left. It's 10 AVEX for each character, but you're getting an ebook from him. There's a whole story to each character. It's only 100-piece collection, and we've seen what great 100-piece collections do in terms of value.
yep,
So he's a guy that I would bet the house on as well.
yeah,
Um, Metamorph, I think, is awesome. That Discord on the AVAC side of things, it's like the artist hangout, but they've got their own collection that they kind of release, I think, weekly now. I would try to get your hands on one of them sooner than later. And I seen Moonbags, the campfire guy.
yep.
He dropped some alpha that, or maybe not some alpha, but like
Holders of
he said
seasons.
something that there's something coming to the holders of seasons.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I just think that is a seriously underrated
I
project
love
in
that
general.
project. I scooped one up off secondary. I missed the mint, but I definitely scooped one up like almost right away. I just love it. I love it's a different style, right? It's not like a cartoon character or a PFP art, but it really just does kind of, I think, kind of move us towards where I think a lot more of it goes. And I think, obviously we know PFP style NFTs typically right now do the best. But that doesn't mean that, I think overall over time, we will continue to move towards NFTs that are just art in general.
Mm.
I'm really excited of with that project, and glad I hold a piece.
Let's get into artist spotlight. I'll start on the AVAC side of things.
Yep.
I gotta highlight our boy Tunch.
Oh yeah.
Incredible. Again, Shaman Tribe, I think, is one of the underrated projects, but
Love Finch.
uh, the whole thing, it's so hard to get one of his pieces now. But as he continues to just so talented. The drawing, the photography. I can't wait till he starts dropping more photography. That's another artist I just think is going to continue to build up his name.
Yep.
Uh, his brother Sarp, also, I think he's
Yes.
incredible and a completely different style. So I think that they're going to continue to feed off each other, and that's only super beneficial to the entire ecosystem.
Yeah.
And kind of keeping in line with that, Illuminati Congo.
I was literally in my mind. I was like, oh, I have to spotlight Illuminati, and even more so because Campfire. I don't know if you saw this, is dropping I guess they have an artist that's making music, and now Campfire has it set where it's like an MP3 player, not a video player. So up till now, right, if you wanted an audio NFT, it was basically an MP4, a playable video that had that in it. But now it's going to be where it's just a still image, and then there's an MP3 player attached to it, which I think is only continuing to further push the music NFT envelope, which I love that. I love that aspect of it. And in some of our Discord chats that not everyone's privy to, Illuminati Congo is got a lot of plans and a lot of things coming up for people who hold his music, his songs.
Yeah, all of his stuff. The Goblins track, the Beans on Acid song, the Shaman Tribe chant. You
Yes,
name it, he's trying to deliver
I'm just
value.
gonna say it. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna drop any specific alpha. But to reap rewards with Illuminati, you may want his Shadows track,
Yep.
and maybe pick up the Menace Shadow track. If you don't have it, that one might be important to also hold. But yeah, man, I love to see the whole ecosystem just continue to grow and build. But yeah, I totally agree with you on everything you said so far.
Who else do I got? I got Yigit Akdag, the
Oh,
Spaceful
Spaceful.
NFT artist.
I love Spaceful.
I think that collection is super underrated. But I just keep seeing him involved in so many different projects now, doing legendaries, and like the way his style comes through whenever he does one of these collaborative things. You're like, okay, yeah, you're gonna be a guy. Like that's just it. On the Fantom side, I want to highlight some of our ladies. I mean, Zoe is absolutely killer. Heian Lee, another savage. She got her cream meow mint, which is unbelievable. And the Phantasm meow, and just her already, like, we knew this journey into ETH was going to be difficult, and her already like trying to like come up with ideas on how do I deliver value, and
Yeah.
what can we do. Like, I absolutely love it. Just the fire in her I think it says a lot.
Yep.
Uman, I'm going to highlight Uman. I just seen an awesome video today. She finished up her the physical for the ancestral leader, and it's just so cool to watch her actually like put some paint on canvas and see that whole process. And then the idea that she just delivered the avatars for ancestral humans in 3 different file types, that you can do so much cool stuff. I recommend getting into the Uman Discord, because there's a gentleman, Kaiju from the Death Team, who is doing some really cool music videos using Umans and the animation. Super awesome stuff. And then I gotta mention Cosmic. I mean, I don't think even people have tied her into the Acid verse yet. Like, she is just such a killer on her own.
It's crazy that 2 unbelievably amazing artists found each other, right? With Teens and Cosmic, and I'm like if I was their kids, like I don't know if their kids are great artists, but like how do you live up to mom and dad? Like that's what I want to know. Like they're both so phenomenal. And man, like going through, and I guess this would be an easy segue into the Labs mints. Is obviously the Cosmic Friends mint coming up this Friday, 11/11 on Fantom, 11/11 on AVAX, 30 Fantom, 0.45 AVAX. Just working on these, and Cosmic did an unbelievable job of so many different traits. And what's weird is my wife, I was working on getting the project all set up. My wife came down and she's like, started looking at them. She's like, oh my gosh, I love these. And what I said was, it was very interesting that as you look through them, I don't know how she did it. There's just something about her style and I look at an image and I can feel the personality of the character. And like, I'm like, this one, I can tell you exactly how this girl's personality is. And, she's kind of maybe a little bit more uptight and, whatever. And then this one's like a free spirit, fun loving, but it's like, I just look at him and I'm like, yep. If she had a career, she's a librarian. If she had a career, she's a waitress. If she and so that I love the variety of it, because I do, like, I'll scroll through them and just go boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, none of them feel the same to me. Like there's so much variety, so much diversity. And like, I feel the characters. Like it's crazy. So when on the mint on Friday, as you mint a bunch, or if you're watching this, when you mint a bunch, like mint a few, or if you can only mint 1 or 2, that's fine. Go on and look at the collection as a whole. And I promise you, as you scroll through it, you will start to see exactly what I'm saying. If you're like, oh yeah, I know her. I know that girl too. Like I
I
know
dated
her.
her
Like,
at some
like
point.
you're gonna feel it. I'm telling you.
No, I'm super excited, and just to think of what the two of them are going to continue to build. Seeing this is her first generative, right? Like this is her first opportunity. Like when we think back at the teens days, think
Yeah.
about the Astro Kids. Like that's a big fucking deal. Like even to this day, what is being delivered for Astro Kids. So to
Oh yeah.
think that like you know, I'm excited for Cosmic and excited for the continuation of the Acid Verse
Yep.
and all of this. Uh,
I know you
yeah,
said
and then
the cream out. I know you said you were gonna hit some alpha on that, so let's go ahead and hit that for sure.
yeah, so I know Voodoo mentioned something about so the Doodle Llama staking. We're looking at potentially implementing the Doodle Llama
Correct.
staking for the Creamio.
Yep. Yep.
So that would mean that yeah, essentially we're going to be creating a fucking crazy ass royalties wallet with a bunch of cool shit in it,
Yeah.
and you'll be able to stake your Creamio, level them up based on rarity, duration, um, and then earn. I guess what is it like raffle tickets that
Yeah,
will.
so the way that it will work, yeah, is based on your level, right? So like let's say level 1, you have your wallet has one entry in the pool. And then level 2 is going to have maybe 3 entries. So it goes up
Mm,
exponentially, right? Like 3 entries in. So on and so forth, right? So the higher the level your staking pool is, which the staking pool right now, so we're still working out some of the details, right? So none of this is like 100% set in stone, but it basically is going to work like the more that you have staked, the faster your staked pool is going to level up. Different rarities are going to start out with different point levels, if you will, and things like that. So the longer you're staked, the higher that staking pool opportunity goes. So the higher the level your staked pool of NFTs are, the more entries you have, and then we'll use a randomized picker, maybe maybe we'll do the VRF system. However we decide to do that, it'll be randomized, it'll be transparent, it'll be clear, and it'll pick. And then, so obviously, the higher the rank, the greater the likelihood you have to get picked. So, like with the Doodle Lanterns, right? We have Swole Chads, we have Ancestral Umans, and we have countless other NFTs added into that wallet.
yeah, over 200 NFTs in that wallet so
Yeah,
far.
some slime, some slime balls by Masochist, which those are unbelievable for a free mint. That was epic. So it's just all of those things, right? So just super super excited about that, to give yourself a greater chance to win. So it's similar to kind of how Cloudheads has the drip that comes to their holders, but it's similar but a little bit different. So but it's exciting. We're going to be implementing that for that, obviously for the Creamow. So yeah.
Yeah, and then you mentioned pretty good about the Swole Starlas. But yeah, this is, I mean, again, making the jump to ETH is tough, but it's also super exciting. The idea that,
Yeah.
a sandbox building there, the idea that once we're in sandbox and kind of building it playing in there, having our whole labs ecosystem built and being able to onboard people into our ecosystem, like I just think it's going to be so good for everybody. Yeah, super exciting stuff. So yeah, you get an avatar entry into sandbox, the Cyber Friends world, which is going to be cool as hell on its
Yep.
own. But then Swole Beach and Sarge can only imagine how much
Yeah.
effort he's going to be putting into Swole Beach.
Right. And a little bit of alpha. I believe we're looking at targeting next week, but we are doing a free mint on ETH.
Right.
And it is going to be the Bit Skulls, right, from the secret or the Skull Society that I made free a long time ago. Obviously, we're going to have where people have been scooping those up. You can burn those to get access, like for, you know, however many set. I think right now, I think Voodoo's targeting 5, but if you burn 5, you get a free mint. Like you get ahead of time, right? Like you get a guaranteed mint in the free mint. And then you're also going to get a guaranteed mint of that project by Sarge on ETH for every Swole, Starla, and Creamow that you hold. Right. So, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, man, like, you know, go pick up 1 or 2 more Swole Starlas or Creamows, and, you know, knowing what you're supporting. Right. And then that also gets you an additional. So like, let's say you start getting, you know, let's say you pick up another Swole Starla. Right. Not only are you getting the Swole Starla, you're getting the playable avatar, and you're getting a BitSkull mint, right? Guaranteed, right? Which, because let's be honest, free mints on ETH, normally those do go super fast, right? So it just becomes one of those things where you're getting, that's basically a 3-for-1, you know, there. So I think that's exciting.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, super exciting stuff. Like I said, yeah, we knew the journey to ETH was going to be difficult, but it's a step needed to be made.
Yep.
And we're going to continue pushing and you know, trying to bring value to the ETH ecosystem to get them into our ecosystem. And yeah.
Well, I think that's about it, man. We got an auction, a labs auction to run here in a minute.
Yeah. So guys, get in the Discord or hit Twitter. Maybe let's give an hour. Let's give an hour in between.
Okay.
Just get the message out and get people involved.
So that would be 2:00 Eastern.
Yep. Does that work for you?
Yeah, that works for me. 2:00 Eastern.
All right.
1 p.m. Central. What is that? What time is that UTC? I don't even know. I'm not great at all these different time transitions.
6 p.m. UTC.
6 p.m. something like that UTC. We'll make an announcement in Discord as well about it, and we'll do a labs auction where show up with your labs, and we'll explain it all. You'll have to send labs to a burn wallet, and
and speaking of this, actually, do we have a burn for labs going on right now?
I don't know, but I don't know if it would happen fast enough between now and then. So I don't think so. But
that's good.
So show up with your labs, and we'll do that. So that's actually at about 50 minutes from now. We'll rock out that labs auction. So go on right now, claim any labs that you've been accumulating. Go on, claim your labs, put them in your wallet, so you have them to bid with. So yeah.
Bingo. And I'll run a couple giveaways over this next hour for some labs.
Oh, perfect. Yep. I'll throw in a giveaway for some labs as well, so people can show up and maybe bid some more. So perfect. Well, that's what we got. Potluck Labs, Tinfoil, PlotTwist, on behalf of True Voodoo, who may never be back on the show again. We haven't decided. We just want to thank you for showing up, like, share, you know, all of that. And let's continue to build this community. So we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And we'll see y'all in the Discord for the auction. But we'll also catch you next week. Y'all have a good one.
Ciao, ciao.